Hey out there, this is Friday, excuse me, August 31st, 2018, and it's about 4 minutes before 9 in the morning here in Northern California. And as usual, I'll get into a lot of different stuff today. I kind of wanted the theme to be freedom, defining freedom, and pointing out how we've lost a lot of freedom in America. And while people will say, well, it's still the best house in a bad neighborhood. That is not a good reason to continue to tolerate losing freedom, in my mind. Um, we bandy a lot of terms about, and freedom is one of those terms. But how often do we really associate it with a lot with oppression? And oppression is basically a lack of freedom, because if you're being oppressed by an external force, then by definition you're not free if somebody's not allowing you to be free. And in modern day society, as opposed to, say, going into the jungles of South America, or places in Africa maybe, where people live entirely without any form of money, the rest of the world, the vast majority of people, are oppressed, and a lot of them don't understand that they're oppressed because they personally don't feel it. In other words, they're how the secular world system defines as successful, financially speaking. So they don't feel oppressed directly. However, the fact is that they are oppressed. Like it's been said before, no man is free. By extension, women, of course, are included in mankind, womankind, humankind. No man is free while others are oppressed. And this is really what we have to understand, is that you can't be okay, because we are made in the image and likeness of God, and God prohibits us from discovering true, real happiness, while our fellow human beings, no matter who they are, where they are, suffer unnecessarily. Unnecessarily, that's a key word. Not required, not necessary. It's unnecessary. I mean, it's an objective term. It's total, it's complete. There's no hemming or hawing about this term. That it doesn't need to be so, but it is. We know that unnecessary human suffering is happening. And the way it's being carried out is through the monetary reality that's been shoved down our throats from birth, through this thing we call a cost of living, the cost of living tax. One tax we pay goes to government entities. That's the tax we all think of when somebody talks about tax. They automatically, immediately, by default, they think of this tax we pay to government entities. Whether it's a quasi-government entity like the Chamber of Communists, or who invent ideas to make money for the city, and so it's I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of relationship, collusive relationship they have with the private interests, special interests, business interests, and with the government. So they get in up close and personal with mayors and city council and supervisors and other bureaucrats, lower level bureaucrats within the established city, or typically, of course, it's city chamber of communists. I don't know if there's county or state. I mean, for all I know, there could be. I just haven't. They're not coming to mind immediately. And there could be national, federal chamber of communists out there. And the reason I call them communists is because, look, this whole idea that, you know, any and all business is good business is their theorem. That's what they operate on. It's this anti-capitalistic, collusive uh, element that they bring into the picture. That if we can create jobs, that's always good. We don't worry about who pay. We'll just make the citizens pay for it. So who's the citizenry of your typical city? There's poor people, plenty of poor people in every city in America. Okay, we all know that. So when they say, well, the idea is to set up parking meters, you can make a fortune. Here's the math. Here's the figures. This is the kind of stuff they involve themselves in. So they create a few good jobs, right? The cushy jobs. I mean, you work 15 years or something in these city government jobs, right? And you can collect a fat retirement. And they're doing it off parking meters and parking tickets, penalties for those that don't comply. And who does this hurt? I mean, the rich, they don't care. I mean, they can park and not bother to put a quarter in the meter and go on their merry way and just pay the parking fee. It doesn't bother them. But it really hurts the lower end people, the offenders. Do you understand how it's imbalanced? It's the whole idea of paying bail, paying penalties, your punishment. Okay, it goes back anciently thousands of years. Jordan Maxwell explains this very well. It comes from the ancient term Baal, where people were bowing down to this false god, this idol, Baal, spelled Bahl, something like that, double L maybe. I may have got the spelling messed up. Maybe it's Ball, something like that. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter how the spelling is, but you get the point. This was an idol, and this is where the term bail, paying bail. Well, you could be a bad guy, in other words, and you can neglect to pay your parking meter, and you can just pay bail, pay, because you're one of them. You're an insider, basically. You're a holder of money, so you're a recipient. So at birth, when we all have to pay this cost of living tax and a tax to the government. So this cost of living tax is the other kind of tax. You understand whose pocket it's going in. Do we ever ask, well, how come, if all this money is going out, how come none of it's coming to me? You understand how this is lopsided. Okay, it's rigged, it's fixed. So we're all being oppressed, and we're not going to be happy, okay, until nobody is any longer oppressed. And there's many ways to skin a cat to accomplish this, to solve this problem. Simple, plentiful solutions. But understand the powerful forces we're up against that are anti-solution, that want to continue on this trajectory of death and destruction, this careening under full sail over the waterfalls to our certain death, okay? And this bandwagon, that's the wheels are just barely hanging on, but we're told, hey, it's safe, it's fine. Don't listen to the naysayers like me that are telling you, hey, they're warning you, man. This thing's got to come to a head. This pimple's got to come to a head, man. Okay? This train has to come to a stop. This ship has to turn. And it hasn't done it yet. Okay? Because if it did, then humanity collectively would be feeling like breathing one big collective sigh of relief. Okay? We would know. Remember, this whole division thing is manufactured, it's concocted, it's conjured up, it's invented, okay, by evil people that want to divert, distract, deflect our attention away from them. Okay, they don't want you focused on who's really the root causers of our problems, socially, politically, and economically speaking. They don't want you empowered. They don't want you to figure it out. They don't want you coming out of Babylon, coming out of confusion. They don't want you to not be ignorant about these things. Just think it's too convoluted. I can never understand. It's too complex. I just have to go along with the flow. It hurts my head when I think about wealth imbalance and what the solution to that is, and communism and socialism and liberalism and pseudo-liberalism and crony capitalism and fascism, all these terms that get bandied about. Okay, I understand it hurts people's heads. I really do. It hurts my head. So, what's the solution? The solutions are simple. Just remember that. The solutions are plentiful and simple, but there are powerful elements that don't want it. These are so powerful. That's why there's no really a better term to use than evil, satanic people. Okay, listen, I just watched an episode of Forensic File. I taped it last night. It came on at 3:30 in the morning, but a couple of meth salesmen, okay, and there was a woman involved, and yeah, love triangle and all this, and uh, the one guy he killed the other guy because he stole his girlfriend, he believed, basically, and he had some other issues in his own sick twisted head, but he chopped the guy's body up. They found a leg. That's all they ever found that I heard in the show, was the guy's leg in a dumpster. Can you imagine what possesses a human being? I mean, does that not make you ashamed to be part of the human race? This is the kind of stuff that stems from these people because they're Satanists. We're being rendered, wittingly or not, okay, in their image and likeness. And there's an example. There is an example. That's your next door neighbor selling meth, okay? Another meth salesman comes in, okay? He's got jealousy issues combined with this monetary issue. Okay, people need money to survive. This is very serious to people. Do you understand? Very, I mean, law enforcement understands this better than any. I mean, sociologists and criminologists, they all know these things. I mean, duh. The biggest driver is financial reasons why people commit crimes, even these heinous crimes, murders, first degree murder. This guy only got, I think he got like 20 years or something. So here, this guy, I mean, oh, well, because he acted spontaneously. Okay. Look, the thing is, okay, is that this is horrific. But this is the thing. What has driven this? The monetary based unreality that's been shoved down our throats from birth has caused this, has done this to people. Okay, that's just one example of many, many, many examples of evil behavior on the part of humans. Okay, but we're all feeling the lack of freedom, the oppression in the land through satanic forces, demonic forces, okay, evil forces, and the minions thereof. Some of them have no idea what they're engaged in. They don't want to know. They just know that who their master is, and they just follow the money. That's their security. That's the gravy train. Okay, they don't care about what the people at the top are doing, how they would kill heads of states, the United States of America even, if they found it necessary to keep their position in place. They're very evil people that are in controls of the affairs of men on earth. Okay, and they make us sick. They make us twisted. They make us want to run and hide. Normal people, okay, I don't care if you're a socialist, you could be normal. I don't care if you're a capitalist, you could be normal. I don't care if you're a liberal or a conservative or a Democrat. We can all be normal, and we can agree that we have a lot more in common than out of common. Do you understand? Even though we're very individual, we think of ourselves as being somehow, well, it's our personal problem, psychological problem. I need maybe, for this behavior, this vice, or this form of escapism. Why am I beating myself up? What's the self-flagellation, this metaphorical, allegorical slashing of the wrists, this need I feel to escape and want to run and hide and scream, whatever it is. Okay, it doesn't feel good, and we're all feeling it. We haven't breathed that collective sigh of relief. That's why I know we haven't turned the corner yet. Okay, it's kind of like this. You wake up in the morning and you think to yourself, why did I eat too much chocolate or ice cream or pastries or combination thereof, whatever it was that you knew, hey, why didn't I have a salad? Okay, I know I'd feel better today. I'd be healthier. I'd be happier. I'd look better. I'd feel better. I'd be in a better mood. Do you understand? But we do those things, and it's not unique. Okay, you don't have to run off to a therapist. Okay, we've got issues, and we can contend with the organic issues. And the organic issues, like I've talked about before many times, go back biblically. The explanation of what went wrong. Okay, what went wrong is we believed a lie. Okay, and it manifested itself in disease and eventual death. This was the price we paid for not listening to our owner, to our creator, to God Almighty in the beginning, our ancestors thousands of years ago.